being vulnerable is never easy because you are opening yourself to many unknowns. However, in being open, you're facing unknown fears, even the ones you may be aware of, as well as you're being open to growth. Today, I will share with you one of my life experiences that has taught me many things. It was September 11th, 2009. At 38 weeks, I wobbled into the emergency room. I wasn't feeling well and I had some concerns. I guess after they saw my discomfort and wobbling, I was seen immediately. After being examined, the nurse left the room to get the doctor. And at this point, I felt something was off. Well, I would say I knew something was wrong. So when the doctor came in and did her examination, she confirmed my fear. Our daughter was no longer with us. Remember now, I'm 38 weeks and now my doctor is telling me that our daughter is no longer with us. After having a son, this was the daughter that we prayed for. She was supposed to cement our family according to our plans. And this was supposed to be our perfect family. Husband, wife, son, daughter. You see, when we found out that we were pregnant, with her at 8 weeks, around 8 weeks, the doctor was actually preparing to, he was recommending a medical procedure. And this is after he stated that I could not have any more children, only to find out that I was already pregnant. Ain't got good. But after all that, he's now telling us that don't get excited about this pregnancy, it wouldn't last. But we went on to 38 weeks. We got to 38 weeks. We saw her as our miracle baby. As a matter of fact, due to all of the medical issues surrounding this pregnancy, when she died, we believed that she died so that I could live. All those details, gory details, I won't go into them, but we really believe that she died so that I can live. So that's our miracle baby. This loss began a journey that I was not prepared to take at all. I went through many emotions of fear, guilt, anger, confusion, so many others that I cannot verbalize. And as the days passed, we now had to prepare for a funeral while adjusting to a change in my health. You see, as a preacher's wife, also a preacher's daughter, and growing up in the church, there's some expectations. In my opinion, some of them unrealistic, but there are some expectations. Sometimes we're not seen as mere humans. Publicly, I held it together. I laughed, I pretended, I looked like I had it all together while going through this. But in private, I was in turmoil. It was hard. I would cry myself to sleep at night. Was my husband sleeping? I'm crying. Those emotions were going through my mind and I was experiencing those things. The one thing that suffered throughout this entire process was my prayer life. I could not pray. I tried and I tried so hard. But all that came out was, dear God. Dear God, that's all that came out. See, the thing is, I did not verbally blame God. I did not say, God, it's your fault. But I believed subconsciously I believe that I did. I asked him why. I remember when I found out that she had died, I screamed and asked God why. Why would you give me what I asked and begged you for and then take it away? But that was the only time that I asked him why. The only time I questioned God. I remember for months I could not be around anyone that was pregnant. I could not be around babies. More specifically, I could not be around baby girls. It was hard. But regardless, I was able to create some normalcy. I was able to create that, and I moved on with my life. But I was never truly whole, or let's say I was never truly happy. There was a change within me that I could not identify. You see, the thing is, society has taught us that some things are taboo. There are many things that happen to us or we experience and we hold on to them. We keep them hidden for fear of being vulnerable, of others looking at us differently, and fear of just letting others in. What this loss has taught me is sharing my experience can help others. I do not know exactly in what way the person will be assisted or how they're going to be helped, but it can help. Mind you though, when we are prepared to share our life's experiences with others, we must also be open to criticism. Because as a matter of fact, just recently, someone used my loss against me in an insensitive and vindictive way. It hurt. But what I have realized is that not everyone is open to others sharing personal details about their lives. Even though those personal details can help someone who's currently going through what that person overcame, they're just not comfortable, and for other reasons they just don't want to do it, they don't want to hear it. About 2 years after the loss of our daughter, we moved to another country. By this time we had our 3.5-year-old son, and I had already suffered 2 other miscarriages after that stillbirth. So this move symbolized new beginnings. The congregation where we worshiped, they were welcoming. They welcomed us, and it felt like home. It felt like something new, something different. My husband and I were also students, so he went to school during the day while I'm being a stay-at-home mom. I attended to all stay-at-home mom duties, but I also went to school in the night. So we had shifts, let's put it that way. So about 2 to 3 months after we moved, we got pregnant. But as exciting as this was, it was very scary. The fear of losing this pregnancy was great. However, we had a great support system around us, and about, say, 2 months before our delivery, or my delivery, I attended a ladies' retreat, and it was one of those things or you did not know you needed, but you needed it. Yeah, this ladies' retreat was it. It was great. I developed friendships, and while there, unbeknownst to me, there was a young lady who was avoiding me. You see, she had recently experienced what I experienced in 2009. Seeing me pregnant was difficult for her, and I knew that feeling. I experienced it, I lived it, so I understood. So one of the organizers who knew what happened to me, she asked if I can have a chat with her, woman to woman. And I would tell you, this was one of the most freeing conversations I have ever had in my entire life. We spoke, we shared stories, experiences, tears, laughter, and hugs. Even though it had been about 3 years since we lost our daughter, I didn't realize how much I still held back or kept in. Could you believe it? At this point, I still could not pray. Yeah, me, the preacher's wife. I couldn't pray. But that conversation with that grieving mom was extremely therapeutic. Even though we both walked away feeling better, I felt like I benefited more from the conversation than she did. I did not know I needed it. I left feeling empty but full at the same time, if you know what I mean. Empty of the grief and pain that I was unknowingly carrying, and full of life and hope. I felt lighter. Even before, mind you, even before I shared my experience with my husband, he saw the difference in me, as my disposition was different. As I walked through the door, he commented that I looked refreshed and that I felt lighter. You may be wondering why I am sharing this with you. I am sharing this for several reasons. You see, sometimes we go through situations and we don't know why. However, what I have learned is that each situation in our lives is a teaching moment, no matter how difficult it is. These moments are not to be held captive, but shareable in the right situation. And as painful as it was losing our daughter, that experience allowed me to help another woman who was going through the same thing. Others can learn, and you will never know how or who our experiences can help unless you open yourself. Vulnerability is needed. I'm not saying it's going to be easy, but it is needed. What I have found is that over the years, in me talking about my loss, I've realized that many women experience miscarriages and stillbirths, but we're made to feel like we're in this by ourselves, like it's a unique situation. As women, we need to rally around each other. Those of us who have experienced this know how lonely and isolating it can feel. We should be able to help each other by talking, sharing our experiences. In the medical community, miscarriages are normal. Why not normalize talking about it or talking about women issues? They should not be seen as a taboo and shameful issue. So now, today, 12 years later, we have our sons, 13 and 8 years old, and we are currently unofficial guardians of a little girl, 3 years. She's about 3.5 years, and we've had her for a little bit over a year. And whether or not she will be in our lives forever as part of our family, I am grateful for the opportunity to having that experience of being a mother figure to a wonderful little girl. I'm also grateful for the opportunity that I was given to have felt our daughter growing within me. What many have seen as a hopeless and helpless situation, my experience has taught me that God provides and takes care of us in every situation. But the thing is, we must allow God to work. So, thank you for this opportunity to share my experience, and thank you for listening.